Hello, everyone. This is Thomas Pepin, NHL Talk. I'm Thomas Pepin, and let's talk about the NHL. So, we are going to go over my predictions for the Metropolitan Division in today's stream. As always, unscripted and on the spot, no prep work except for the subject. And so, um, I don't know the answer. You'll kind of hear my thinking and logic as we go through. Where is that it? Yeah, that should be it. So give me 1 second. I'm just loading up my document. And I need that too. Okay, so I should be good to share screen now. I want division. Okay. Cool beans. So first, let's get the team names. Hurricanes, Devils, Rangers, Islanders, Flyers. All right, so that's the order from last season, and we will use cap friendly with the current rosters to see what we think. Almost sneeze. Okay. So we'll start in that order, and the reason is because it's probably easiest to, if you take more or less what the best team is going to be and then contrast with the rest, it's easier rather than the opposite, doing the worst. And, well, I mean, actually, it's, to be honest, about the same. But you have to have a worst. At least with the best, you know the best. With the worst, it could be any number of those bottom ones. I guess it's true for the top ones too. Uh, anyways, in in any case, what I'm gonna do, I'll start with the Hurricanes. So this is very unscientific. Previously, I used to do sports betting for the Stanley Cup winner. I had been correct. I think it was 4 years in a row, and then last season I wasn't as right as I was in past seasons, so I didn't make any money, and I kind of don't feel as confident in being able to predict. I think it's too open, and because of the, like, in particular LTIR, I find it very difficult to, especially because I was doing my predictions at the end of the previous season, and even if I did it at the beginning, or even if I did it at trade deadline, I still think it would be difficult to. Well, at trade deadline, you would probably have a better idea, but there's injuries and stuff like that. The other thing is the odds get way worse. So if you do it from the last season, more often than not, they underestimate teams or give better odds. Whereas if you're, well, at trade deadline, you're what, 3/4 of the way through a season? And so you've got kind of a very good idea of what teams are what. And so as a result, the the payoffs are worse, and then being profitable is just, I would find to be very difficult. So I gave up on that, and so as a result, I don't do my algorithm that I did previously, which was pretty accurate, in getting, even in not getting the Stanley Cup winner close enough to correct. It was still pretty accurate. Um, I just There's no use for me doing it now because I don't use it for any income. So anyway, so it's not scientific. I'm basically just having a scan through the team or teams and thinking about primarily the depth, but and in particular, I would say the depth of scoring, depth of defending, all that kind of stuff. Um, so that's basically it. So to start with Carolina, they've got Aho, Teravainen. I don't really like Kotkaniemi, but in any case, Bunting, I think it's pronounced Nietzsche's, Stahl, Fast, Martinook. So that's 1, 2, 3. I don't like the forward group that much. Is maybe some people will think I'm crazy to say that, but I don't really. I don't find it that impressive. The defense I know 100% even before I started to look. So Orlov, Slavin, Burns, Ski, I think it's how it's pronounced. Pesci, D'Angelo. Like that's I don't know. Uh, I'd have to compare it to every single team, but if it's not the best D, it is. It's got to be like in the first handful of teams because it's extremely deep and very offensively productive. So, like, that's super impressive. Anderson, I like in net. Kachetkov has done decent. Rant is a great, like, 1B kind of goalie. So, because of defense and goaltending, I really do like the team. They've done well. I think their coaching's been quite good. It just seems like, so like last season with injuries and stuff, they weren't deep enough. Oh, that's what I'm glad that I double checked. So Svechnikov, if they had him in, I'd think more positively of the team, but he's not in. Um, in any case, it's a great team. Uh, if they're not first, they're at least going to be towards the top in my predictions. So yeah, at the very least, we're starting there. Now, oh, I just realized. Can you see the teams as I look at them? I definitely don't think the Devils are going to be second, so I'm not going to pull them up next. I really like the Islanders. If they still had Trotz, I think they would be a stellar team, but I don't know Lambert that well, but I don't think he's that outstanding of a coach in any case, or at least not a Barry Trotz level coach. So in any case, we'll do Islanders second. Not that they will be second. Well, after we're done, they will be, but later on, once we have other teams, we'll see. So Barzal, Horvat, Lee, Nelson, Palmieri, Wallstrom. So they've got like a good mix. It's the same kind of thing as what Winnipeg was doing with two offensive lines and then two defensive lines. Kind of like a retro, well, now retro kind of style of team structure. I think now it's more three scoring or two offensive, one combo, and then a fourth line typically of um, uh, there's a term I'm looking for, but basically like they have a specialty, so they'll play special teams or um, I'm gapping on the word, but yeah. So in any case, not the it, we kind of saw it too. Just kind of the scoring depth is a bit lacking, I would say. Um, hmm. So forwards are okay, and they've got scoring depth enough. Not the best, like I said, a bit too defensive in the bottom six. For defense, Pulak, Pelech, Dobson, Mayfield, Romanov. It seems like their sixth defenseman hasn't been good enough uh, lately. Their goaltending is probably the best tandem out there. That Sorokin guy's, I think, really impressive. Um, so yeah, I mean, I would have them. They're pretty close. I just think the coaching's better. I don't. People might think that I'm thinking too highly of the Islanders, but again, remember they've been to the, I think it was conference final, twice over some of the years of Trotz, and teams basically the same. Now it was with Trotz. That's the difference. Um, but they've been a good team, so I don't know. Cause like I have their forward group similar um, to the Hurricanes, but defense slightly worse, goaltending slightly better. So they kind of all even out. Hmm. I think because of high end production, it'll have to be the Hurricanes, but I think the Islanders are a great team. I don't know why they've struggled so much as of late. Um, but in any case. All right, so next up is. Still won't touch the Devils. We'll go to Rangers. See, Rangers, I haven't followed so much of what they did in the off season, so I don't know my opinion of them. Oh yeah, Wheeler was a good pickup. Panarin, Zibanejad. Stupid thing. Kreider, Trocheck, Cheadle. Lafreniere, Kako, Wheeler, Benino, Pitlick. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'd say like 5 kind of offensive guys that I think you could count on. The rest maybe not as much. They might be offensive guys, or I just wouldn't think of them as as proven or as reliable or something like that. Defense, Fox, Truba, Miller, Langren, Schneider. I like Gustafson. So, I don't. To contrast with the Islanders, I don't like their D as much. Maybe a bit more productive on the high end, but I don't know. And then goaltending, I like Quick as a backup. I really like that tandem actually. I think this tandem in terms of like um, team goaltending, like or team defense, kind of like the combo of the two. I think it's going to be pretty strong. Again, similar to the Hurricanes. Um, in terms of like high end offensive production, um, less than the Hurricanes on defense. I'd say less than the Islanders on defense. Similar in goaltending to the Islanders. Um, so if forwards, better defense, less. So it'd basically be like a coin toss between Islanders and Rangers. I think because of depth, but I just don't like the defense as much. Yeah, I don't know if they'll be able to defend as well. So I'm going to put the Rangers behind the Islanders, but it's super close. Next up is I'm going to do Penguins because I still don't know if I necessarily like the Devils, but I know for sure the Penguins are something. Crosby, Malkin, Gensel, Rust, Carter. Injured guys? Not really. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're top 9 for forwards. I actually like. It's a decent mix of offensive production and, complementary offensive production paired with some sort of defensive capability, and then also high end offensive capabilities. So I like the mix. I'd say the mix for Carolina, Rangers, and Pittsburgh are probably all similar. The one concern with Pittsburgh is the age of the players. They could get injured more easily. Maybe their production goes down. But they're all pretty similar, I'd say, those three teams. Yeah. Carlson, Letang, Graves, Pedersen. I don't like their D that much. And then their goaltending tandem, I'd put them. Can you even see that? Jari and Nedeljkovic. I'd put them behind. Maybe similar to something like the Hurricanes, but I think the Hurricanes would be more consistent. If these guys have great seasons, then they could be as good, but you never know. So defense worse than the rest on the high end, obviously. Theoretically high, but we don't know if Carlson can stay healthy. Letang's had issues too. Not related to... It's like medical health as opposed to not taking care of yourself kind of thing because of his it's a heart issue, I believe. Excuse me. So D, I'd have maybe similar to the Rangers, probably worse. Forwards again, kind of similar to Rangers, Hurricanes. Maybe slightly better than the Islanders, just for offensive production. Um, yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm so confident. Come the playoffs, that's a different story, but to make the playoffs, I don't know if I have them as better than the Rangers. Who's the Rangers coach? Because that also makes a difference. Laviolette, he's a decent coach. Sullivan's a good coach too. Um, Yikes. I think I have the Penguins below, and it's not necessarily that they're worse. It's just more question marks when it comes to like health and all that kind of stuff. Performance, like consistency. Um, High end capabilities. So, yeah, man, sorry for the Penguins. I thought I would actually have a higher opinion of them, but I don't like them as much. Next, it's probably the Devils. If not, it's going to be pretty close. They really impressed me. I didn't think they'd do nearly as good. Sometimes there's these teams that come in one season and then go and tank all over again. So you go tank, do well, and then tank. And it just doesn't make sense. These guys are very young, so it could very well happen again. Meyer, Hughes, Bratt, Heischer, Platt, Toffoli, Holla. And then after that, I would say it kind of drops. Do they have any injuries? No. It's a decent top six. Top nine, worse than the Penguins, I would say. Defense, Hamilton, Marino, Siegenthaler, Miller, Smith, Hughes. So it's a decent D. What did Hughes produce? Didn't he do well? No, I'm confusing with the other Hughes brothers. Um, Really good production in NCAA. He could step right in and do really well. So they could be better. Schmid, I'm not confident about in net. Vanacek is okay. Goaltending, I'd have less than the Penguins. I'd be less confident. Defense, I'd probably have them similar to the Rangers. And then forwards, I'd probably have them below everybody. Or similar to the Penguins. It's just because of the ages. I don't know for sure that I'd be confident they'd produce the same. They could also go and improve and do way better. That's the thing with young guys. You really have no idea what they're going to do. Um, so their high end potential would be ahead of the Penguins, maybe similar to the Rangers, maybe even up as good as the Hurricanes, but it's just that range of an uncertainty that I don't know. Would I have them ahead of the Penguins? I don't think so. So we'll put the Devils here. And I was going to say maybe they get the wild card, but versus the Atlantic, I don't know if they'll even be able to do that. And so I think it's nearly certain we're, a lock for the top four. And then the rest are going to probably slot in behind. So where are the Capitals? It's weird what's happened with the Capitals. Because they're not nearly as good. Ovechkin, Backstrom, who hopefully is healthy. Kuznetsov, Oshie, Mantha, Wilson, Strome. 5, 6, 7. The rest not as great. Carlson, Jensen, Riemsdyk, Edmondson, Sandin. It's not that bad in terms of depth. Goaltending's okay. Kemper, yes. Lindgren, not as much. Defense, maybe similar to the Devils, Penguins, probably worse than the Rangers. Forwards, I kind of have them similar to Penguins where they're starting to age. You don't know about health. And then goaltending, I don't think Kemper's that great of a goalie. I think he kind of got lucky being on a strong Colorado team. And then if, in terms of depth, they don't have it for goaltending if he gets injured. So they're going to be a bubble team. They're pretty close to the Penguins in terms of like composition. Just again, too many question marks to really know. So I think it's either going to be the Penguins or Capitals that make. Actually, you know what? I was going to say make the last spot, but the Devils could be in it too. So I mean, really, all these teams are very similar on the bubble. I'm going to put the Capitals below the Devils. Just because I do think the Devils are going to produce similarly to last season, but maybe not as much. They're probably going to have more problems. I don't know that, but obviously I don't know that. But yeah, just too much uncertainty. Pretty much between the Penguins, Devils, and Capitals. I think the Rangers are more certain. Likewise, Islanders and Hurricanes. So, but anyways, a lot of these teams are pretty interchangeable. I would say that the Hurricanes though are probably they should be a lock for the playoffs. Beyond that, I don't know which of the teams really are going to stay in there. So, but these are my predictions at this point, and you never really know. Next, we'll have a look at Flyers. I think they're on the outside. Couturier, Atkinson, Konechny, Lawton. I mean, it's not a bad team. Another team that I thought would do better and they didn't. And I don't think Tortorella is really gonna turn this team into some great team. But you never know. Sometimes with just put together some defensive structure and then it works. Sanheim, Ristolainen, Walker, York. I just don't think it's good enough. Peterson and Hart. I think he's a good goalie, just maybe not in the right circumstance. Yeah, I'd have them behind the Capitals. There's not much more to think about than that. And then Blue Jackets, where are you? Goudreau, Line, Jenner. They've got some decent high-end scoring. Some guys that could impress, that are young. Orensky, Severson, Provorov, Branson, Peaky, Boqvist. Defense is pretty darn good. Merzlikins, Tarasov. I kind of like the composition better than the Flyers. Who's their coach? Vincent. That's the problem. I don't know if he's a good enough coach. Do I have them ahead of the Capitals? They could. They really could, actually. I don't think they're that bad. I would have them in the mix. Because their defense depth. It would be similar to the Devils. I think their defense is better than the Devils. Goaltending better than the Devils, or the... No, not better than the Devils. Similar to the Devils, sorry. Maybe slightly worse than the Penguins. Defense, I would put it somewhere around the Islanders. And forwards, I kind of like the depth, actually, on forward. They have Fantilli there, too. They might be a decent team, actually. Better than the Rangers? Maybe better than the Penguins, actually. It's the goaltending, though. I don't know. Team defense. If the coaching was good, like if it was a coach that had experience, I'd probably put them somewhere around the Rangers. Maybe as weird as that sounds. But without the coaching, I do have concerns about how they would do. Oh, man. I don't know. See, that's where I mean, like... I think... So, in my opinion, I have the Hurricanes, Islanders, and Rangers probably making the playoffs. After that, I have no idea. If I get those three right, who's to say? Like, it's hard to know. But I feel most confident about those three. The rest, I have no idea. I mean, Flyers, I have out. I think Capitals, just in contrast, I just don't think they have the depth. Devils are pretty deep all things considered. Penguins, I don't like their defense as much for the Penguins. In the lower, so like the what, maybe fifth and sixth defenseman, or fourth to sixth. Where would I put the Blue Jackets? It's tempting to make like the bold prediction that they make the playoffs ahead of the Penguins, but I don't know if I can make that prediction just because of coaching. And then that makes you think, why wouldn't you put the Devils ahead of the Penguins? Hmm. You know what? Ah, man, this is so tough. I can't. I I think I'm gonna put them ahead of the Devils. It's a weird prediction. I'm pretty sure most people would say, but it feels right. Just the mix of players. It's the goaltending I'm concerned about, but I think they have just enough slash too much depth to be bad, and then especially to be worse than, for example, the Devils or Capitals. To be noticeably better, I can't say that either because of coaching. So coaching and goaltending are my concerns with them. Ah, man, that's so tough. Yeah, that's as close as I can get without, like, running numbers and stuff. So that's going to be my prediction, I think. So, yeah. And then how many people would that be coming out of a playoff spot? Well, we don't know because we haven't done the Atlantic, and I don't know if, for example, the Penguins I'd have ahead of whoever would be fourth spot in the Atlantic. But we would have Hurricanes, Rangers, Islanders staying in, and only one change. And so, like I've said in previous streams, which I've done on the predictions, on average over the past full seasons, so excluding the COVID years and excluding where there was like a no, well, yeah, so sorry, where there was a gap between the regular season and the playoffs, which was one of the COVID years. Um, 6 teams on average miss the playoffs, so switch spots. So 6 new teams, 6 old teams disappear um, out of 16. So at the moment, we have, for my predictions, we have Kings. So we have 1 with the Flames, Stars, 2 with the Blues, and then three with the Penguins. So it's getting pretty close to the kind of variability that we've seen. I won't know with Atlantic. I don't know how many teams I would say would be out. Um, and actually, to be honest, now just taking a quick glance at the Atlantic, I really do think that maybe they'll have 5 spots in the East, but we'll have to see after I take a look at the teams further. So that is where we'll leave it. So again, for Metropolitan, I have Hurricanes first, Islanders second, Rangers third, Penguins fourth, in all likelihood, or a strong possibility that they don't make the playoffs, the Penguins. And then Blue Jackets, Devils, Capitals, Flyers. Again, like I said, I think the top 3 I feel like are a lock to make the playoffs. I think that's just my opinion. And then I think Penguins, Blue Jackets, Devils are probably interchangeable. I would say I'm less confident about the Capitals, but I would also put them in the mix there too. So those are my predictions, and that's it for today. So if you like the stream, hit the like button, share with your friends, subscribe, turn on notifications. The channel homepage has upcoming streams on regular NHL content. So I'm just pulling that up actually. Next one is going to be, I guess, a week from now. Yeah, so Friday, October 6th, we're going to be doing the predictions for the Atlantic Division. And then the following Friday, I believe. No, actually, I changed it to a Wednesday. And that's because of the start of the season. So I think it'd be the day after. I forget which day the season starts. I think it's the 10th. But it's basically right at the start of the season. And then I'll put my full predictions together, as well as do the playoff predictions and Stanley Cup winners. So, playoff predictions as a result of the regular season predictions and then the Stanley Cup winner. So that's the plan for regular NHL content. For things I can't schedule ahead of time, like franchise mode, that schedule's in the About section of the channel. It looks... So, sorry, I should say the next time is Sunday, October 1. And then it should, moving forward, be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 10:30 p.m. Eastern. So that I'm nearly certain, it's like 95% sure that that's going to be correct for that. I'm still kind of working on, for the regular NHL content, the schedule. I think it's going to run twice on Fridays, one in the afternoon for whatever random topics, and then one in the evening about this time, doing a recap of the week, all the major news stories and stuff that I want to talk about. So that's probably the schedule. So it'll be Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then twice on Friday. And based on that schedule, part of the reason I set that up is about the next point, which be a pros whenever I have time or feel like it. And then this way, because I'm bunching the two on Friday, I should be able to fit in Be a Pro randomly throughout. So maybe like a Wednesday afternoon, I might have time. I'm thinking at least. And then, because Wednesday evening, I don't think I'll have time. And then Saturdays, I'll probably have time, maybe for a couple even. So anyway, so Be a Pro, I can't schedule it because I want to have at least these other content formats scheduled. And so I've filled the times that I possibly can to be able to allocate to this, because this is just a hobby right now. And then, yeah, I should be able to fit in more Be a Pro based on this schedule. So, yeah, any comments, leave them in the comments, suggestions likewise, and that will be it for today. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you guys. guess Sunday's the next time I'll see you. Unless I have time. Actually, you know what? I'll probably have time Saturday for Be a Pro. So just stay tuned and keep an eye out for that. So, anyways, see you guys soon.